I chuckled a little bit, Scott, when you compared this to, you called it the Russia hoax. I'm actually going to play this from The Daily Show's Jordan Klepper, because I think, honestly, he comedically laid this out pretty clearly why, I'm not sure why this argument works.
So let me get this straight. According to Trump, all the top Democrats got together and said, let's create some fake files that destroy Trump's political career. They don't ever use them. They let Trump get elected, don't use them. Let Trump get elected again, still don't use them. And then once he's the president, hope he releases the files without ever looking at them. Frankly.
I mean,
this is the worst conspiracy I've ever heard in my life.
That is the most ignorant description I've ever heard.
But how on earth would Democrats have been trying to take down Trump with documents that they never used to take down Trump?
I'm sorry, they crippled almost his entire first term by convincing one half of the country that Russia stole the 2016 election.
But on this,
and Democrats still have it as an argument.
Where is the Democrat conspiracy on this issue?
Thank you.
So here's the deal. There's no conspiracy and there's no story. Tonight, and I'll give you an example of why I believe that. Tonight, Fox News did a poll.
Speaking of accurate sources.
Are you calling into question the Fox News polling? Because it's generally considered to be very good. So here's the deal. They have his job approval. He's a little underwater. Of all the people who said they approve or disapprove of Donald Trump, only 1% mentioned Epstein as the reason. And the whole 1% was either Democrats or independents. This fantasy that Republicans or MAGA nobody in the Republican.
I mean, first off, it just wasn't funny, right? The clip wasn't funny. The guy's supposed to be telling jokes. He's not funny. That's number one. Two, okay, so obviously at this point we know Trump is trying to spin, right? He's not the best at it, right? But he's trying to spin. He's trying to pivot off of the Epstein thing because of some reason, right? So when you take a step back and you start looking at this stuff as, maybe not from 10,000 feet, but at a little bit elevated of a position, you start to understand that obviously something happened where someone said something to Trump, something happened to Trump. He got wind that to try to squash this. He needs to squash this. And he thought that he was just going to be able to ram it through and everyone was going to let it go. Take a look at the Fox poll that he's talking about. I don't believe that. I don't believe that 1%. Maybe it's because I'm in a bubble. Maybe it's because I'm in in my own space. It seems like it's a lot more. That's quite possible. But 1%, I don't think so. I mean, look at the video that I did yesterday with Alex Jones and Tim Dillon. I mean, these are guys that have a big following. A lot of people are listening to them. And one of the things that they pointed out was right after Netanyahu visited the White House, that's when all of this stuff started, right? That's when you got tons of pressure. That's when the Bondi thing came out. She said, there's nothing to see there, nothing there. We're essentially trying to pivot off of this. They did it in a terrible way, right? I've said this numerous times already. You can't go on and on saying there's a there, and then just, I understand that he thought that, meaning Trump, could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and people would, still vote for him. That may well be true. But that's different than saying you're going to do something, making it a point, and then not doing it. Again, not to say that he said it, which he did, but that wasn't his main thing. But Bondi was on it. She was promoting it. She was putting it out there. She released phase 1, right, to all of the social media people. Well, where's phase 2? And that's what Thomas Massey was talking about today, right? You cannot come to the extent that they've taken this and say, this is all here. We're going to bring this out. Trying to. She was essentially she's trying to look cool, right? She's trying to be part of the in crowd, because Cash and Bongino, they were doing the rounds. They had, Bongino was super popular podcast, making millions of dollars. Cash was doing the rounds with his book, saying, Epstein list day one. We got to get these guys, blah, 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 like all this stuff. And now, at the drop of a hat, pivot and say, it's nothing there, we're shutting it down. What they should have done is they should have just said, it's a ton of information, we have to go through all of it, it's going to take some time. That's it. All you had to do. Right? But it seems like a Trumpian move where he was just going to say, you know what, let's just stomp it out. Right? That's why he goes at the reporter saying, we're still talking about Epstein. Yeah, yeah, it hasn't gone anywhere yet. Once you start going down that rabbit hole, and the problem is now, more and more people are going down the hole, and they're seeing crazy shit, right? It's when you're looking at, you know, Epstein being a math teacher, and then, you know, going to Cooper Union, which is I think one of the top, I don't know if it's top engineering school, but Cooper Union is no joke. It's a high level school, right? So obviously, that seems to be prior to his involvement or getting involved with these people. I don't know if, you know, it could have been a family thing. They brought him in there. Maybe he was like super intelligent. Who the hell knows? But he got in there. And then, you know, fast forward, you know, whatever. This was like a money laundering honeypot campaign. You know, that's kind of where the majority of us are at this point. Obviously, Trump got information saying that, you know, whatever, your name is maybe in here more than you think. And people that you know and care about, and people that are really helping you, their names are in here. So try to put the kibosh on it. Try to squash it. They didn't do it well, right? But to say that, you know, it's essentially the other problem that they did was they tried pivoting out of it again with another big scandal, which is pretty damn scandalous. The fact that Obama knew about, you know, Russiagate and all that stuff like that. Like, that's all good and well, but you still have to address the primary issue. And the only reason you have to do it is because you tried to completely stomp it out. Had you not done that, had you just played cool and said, we're reviewing everything, it'll come out in due time, it's a lot of stuff we have to go through. It would have been fine.
The Republican Party is worried about this, and most of America is not worried about it.
CNN's polling shows that he's 37 points underwater on the Epstein issue. But the larger point is, this started Epstein died in 2019. Donald Trump was the president in 2019. Barack Obama had left office by that time. And he still thinks that somehow Barack Obama created a conspiracy to frame Donald Trump about something that happened with Epstein after he...
That guy's an absolute retard. Like, he doesn't even... Who is that? RuPaul? Like, who the hell is that guy? But he's completely crisscrossing the issues here. Nothing to do with Obama, right? There's Epstein and then there's Obama. And what Obama did was, after Trump was the president-elect, right? Then the Russiagate conspiracy started. And you know, I don't know if Comey's going to get wrapped up into it. Honestly, in my personal opinion, no one's going to jail. Nothing's going to really happen. It'll all be outed. And the majority of people, it's just going to go over their heads, right? And this is the kind of thing that it gets a little depressing, but then you start to realize that if you're watching programming like this, if you're watching this right now, when it comes to politics, when it comes to right wing, left wing, anything, you are going to be like, you know, the top 5% of people that are in the know because you're consuming it. The majority of people, the vast majority of people, don't give a shit. They don't. Right? They're going to see the headline, they're going to read the chyron on the bottom, and they're going to say, this is what I think, because they told me to. This guy has no idea what he's talking about, and he's on the news. Right? He's trying to say that Trump was that Obama was Epstein. I don't even know what the guy's talking about. He's conflating the two issues, and he's just being an idiot right now.
I think it's pretty telling that some of these latest revelations that have really gotten under Trump's skin are coming out in the Wall Street Journal, the same people that own Fox News, Rupert Murdoch, despite the fact that Donald Trump called on the phone and told them not to publish this, despite the fact that Donald Trump has threatened and pursued legal action, and they are still publishing this, which tells you that they are not afraid, and that they've got some great sources.
They're not afraid to publish unverified hearsay.
They're doing their jobs.
Hang
on a second, my friends. We were just talking about whether or not MAGA cares, right? So a judge decided today that they were not going to be allowed to release these grand jury transcripts, which Trump said he wanted released. This is a limited amount of information. They could release the files that they have in DOJ possession. All of a sudden now, Charlie Kirk says President Trump's DOJ moved to release the valuable Epstein information, and a federal judge is blocking their pursuit of transparency. Are you paying attention? The judge is a 2014 Obama appointee. So now, I mean, which one is it?
But here's the thing, though.
Is this an Obama conspiracy, or does Trump have the power, if he wanted to actually release many, many documents, many more?
All right, so the Charlie Kirk thing is like cannon fodder. It's like, you know, a little bit of red meat for the base, kind of a talking point to throw out there so that people can, you know, I mean, who cares? Is an Obama appointee? Grand jury testimony normally doesn't get disclosed. That's just part of grand jury testimony, right? It's supposed to be secret. But it's just really interesting, like where they're taking this segment, right? They're like they're crossing streams here. They're talking past each other, not really understanding what's going on. When it comes to the Epstein thing, it's clear as day, right? That they're just not going to release it. One, they're not going to release it, and two, they probably don't have it. They don't have the goods, right? I personally know people that were involved in the search warrants and stuff like that. Like I have knowledge and information pertaining to things of that nature, and there was a lot of stuff. It took massive amounts of stuff. That's all there. It's all got to be sitting somewhere. I don't know where it is now. I don't know. You know, it was taken into police custody. No idea where it is now. But you got to understand that the raid in New York City, you know, it was I think it was anywhere. I'm getting different reports. It was anywhere from a 30,000 to 50,000 square foot apartment house building. Right. This is a townhouse. This is massive. This is probably one of the largest single standing residents in New York. Right. And it was owned by Epstein, and Howard Lutnick was his next door neighbor. That's another video. But the stuff is there. DOJ has it. Maybe they don't. Maybe it's gone. Who the hell knows? The other issue is, at this point, the other side, or whoever is anti-Trump, has had more than enough time. And you're talking about Comey's daughter was there at the Southern District. They've had more than enough time to sanitize this stuff and to drop in possible negative things, right? Or to leave in the stuff that they wanted to leave in. Right, whoever's information needed to come out of there. Hey, you know, Gates, we got this box on you. Yeah, you can just get rid of that stuff. I'm pretty sure that stuff has already happened, right? But the stuff that they wanted to leave in there, right? And who knows? Like it seems like the Trump administration might be walking into, you know, a trap here, and the trap was all this information, anything that was pertinent to like Democratic mega donors, or just basically anyone that's part of the two-party, the mega party, right? Because it's not left and right anymore. There's a mega party, and then there's like MAGA, who's very independent thinking. At least I believe it. Relatively independent thinking. There's libertarians. There's even left-wing people in MAGA. But the swamp creatures, right? I'm sure they left in the information that was only going to hurt the people that were stymieing what they wanted to do and what they wanted to get accomplished.
Valuable documents in these transcripts.
Charlie Kirk is still in the media class. This, to the media class, is our soap opera. This is palace intrigue. This is the scandal that we are whining and dining on. But outside of the Beltway and the media industry, to Scott's earlier point, this is not a salient issue to the middle of the country that needs to be persuaded headed into the midterms. And I would even argue it's not a ranking in the top 5 for MAGA voters.
Then why does Trump keep talking about it?
But I think it's because he's responding to the attacks.
No, wait, hold up.
Why do Democrats keep talking about it?
He's not.
Why are we talking about it?
He's not. Trump
he doesn't want to.
Hold on a second. If Trump wanted to move on, whenever a reporter asked him a question about this, he would say, I'm not going to talk about this issue. I'm going to talk about the economy. He has not done that a single time in the last week and a half that this has been a story.
I think if MAGA didn't.
He said it to the reporter the other day, which was actually to his downfall, right? I mean, we all remember it. When the reporter was asking, it was a round table right after the tragedy in Texas. The reporter was asking Pam Bondi about the issue, and he interjected, and he said, we're still talking about this? This is an old issue. he was trying to move past it. He was trying to get past it. He realized after several attempts that it wasn't going to work. Had to rethink the strategy. They're trying to figure out what to do now. Honestly, like I said from the very start, if they just would have said, just like they just need to learn from standard politicians, right? It's an ongoing investigation. There's a lot of information. We're going through it all. It'll be released in a timely manner. That's it. But they try to squash it. Not a good idea.
Care about this, it wouldn't be an issue right now.
Thank you.
But they did care. When Pam Bondi came out and said, this is done, it's finished, they screamed. If the Democrats had screamed, and they did, that wouldn't have mattered. But because part of the base screamed, that it mattered. And it will matter in the midterms, and I wouldn't want to go.
See, here's where I think Scott's trying to play a little bit of defense here. And you know, I think that the majority of standard Republicans believe this is a nothing issue. And if you're polling, you're probably right. However, the people that care about this, the people that this is important to, are the people that are wearing the hats, are the people that are going out to the rallies, are the people that are donating, this is a grassroots issue for MAGA. Take that with it what you will. But if it's only 5%, it's a very strong, powerful 5%. It's the 5% that we're watching Kash Patel, that we're watching Dan Bongino. It's the 5% that knows, you know, that was following everything through COVID, that knows about Dr. Bhattacharya, that knows about, you know, that watched, you know, all the Joe Rogan episodes on, you know, hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin and listen to, you know, Dark Horse podcast. And I mean, you just go through the litany of the type of people that care about this issue. And maybe it's just 5%, but if it's the 5% that I think it is, it's going to matter. It's going to matter. So, you know, I just think that I don't know how it's going to turn out in the midterms. I don't know how they're going to pivot out of this. I don't know how they're going to shake it. They played it wrong. They played it wrong. Had they played it right, they probably could have postponed it. And I honestly just think that he wants to get this economic thing through before he has to deal with this. The problem is the longer he waits, the closer it comes to the midterms, the more it can hurt people in the midterms. It's a mess. It's a mess.
Go home to a recess. I've done that before. When you have troublesome political news, to go to an August recess. I wouldn't want to with this hanging over.
Yeah, man.
Points underwater.
That is, it's going to be tough. And of course, like always, I didn't say it, but if you're still here after all this time, please hit the subscribe button. It really helps me out a lot. If you want to follow me on X, 6283talk on X. If you want to drop a comment, that's cool. But the most important thing, if you can, please, cost you nothing. Just click that little subscribe button right there. And you can be notified whenever I release other videos. He's going to have a tough road, man. I'm really interested to see. They need to sit down. He needs to get Steve Bannon in there. He needs the brains of all the people that we watch. If you're watching this show, I'm assuming you watch a lot of these other shows and a lot of these other talking heads and stuff like that. He needs people that are in the know, that understand the people that live and breathe and die this. Sit down. What do they want, and try to satiate them. I hope he can do it. I don't know. Let's see. We'll find out. Thanks a lot, guys. See you again in the next video. 6383talk on the X. Later.